Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 4 of Pit Party, brought to you by True Sim Productions and Front Row Esports. Tonight we're talking COTA in the heart of Texas. Coming up tonight we got Tom Freitas and Tanner Marr sitting there at the controls. How's it going, Tanner?
It's going good, buddy. I wish rushed home from work, tiring day. Wish we could go to like a Dover or something like that.
Oh yeah.
But we're going to COTA tonight. 20 turns. I'm not excited. I don't know one of the 20. I feel like. Kel, you racing tonight? I know you got with your shoulder.
No, I'm sitting control booth. I've been doing race admin, and probably not going to be much to do tonight, but we'll see what happens.
Got you frozen right there. My bad. Trying to work all these controls. There we go. You're not frozen anymore. So you're going to be up doing the race admin work. I know we're also joined. You mentioned him. Mr. Frito Toilet Bow Tom here. Tom, how you doing tonight? And how excited are you for COTA action?
I'm doing all right. Been a long week. I know you've had a longer week. I'm glad it's finally Friday. Excited for COTA. Yeah.
I didn't know those two words can even go together. Excited and COTA.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. COTA is, here's my opinion. COTA is a great Formula One track, right? But in my opinion, NASCAR vehicles should not be racing at COTA. That's just how I feel.
Right.
So.
And then, Tom, who else do we have up here with us?
We have Carl Lindstrom. We also got Sam and Mark Miller, but they are currently away. But Carl's here. Carl.
Yes, sir.
Who's away?
Well, Sam wasn't away either. Carl, COTA tonight. How excited are you? Aren't you just jumping with joy?
Yeah, you can hear the joy in my voice.
Right.
It's a tough track driving these stock cars around it. So
it's a fun track. We're taking shots at it, right? That's just because we're oval racers. That's it. I mean, there's gonna be guys that go out here tonight and they can wheel it. I mean, they will put on a show around one of the toughest road courses there is. And then you put the stock car, throw that next gen car in the mix, and it gets even that much more tougher. So we are putting jabs and throwing jabs at COTA, but at the end of the day, it's a very, very, very tough technical track, and it will be fun for the guys that do like road course racing.
Yeah, agreed.
And then we're joined by we'll pull this picture up here, Mr. Samuel Baumgarten. Sam, he will be calling action tonight. This is a first. Get the broadcaster's point of view from tonight's event. COTA tonight, brother. What are we thinking?
It's COTA, man. You guys have already done enough smack talking about COTA. I don't like the track. I kind of with Tom. I think it was designed for Formula One cars, not NASCAR. I personally think if we would run a shorter configuration at COTA, it would be a lot better. Maybe a couple more laps and one of the shorter configurations. And I'm talking even real life NASCAR. But tonight, I mean, it's going to be tough, right? I mean, I'm going to be the only one up there, and we got to figure out what's going on all over this track. And with it taking 2.5 minutes to get around there, roughly, it's it's going to be hard finding stuff to talk about tonight.
Absolutely. And you're looking at a track, I think I may have mentioned it a while ago, but I'm going to mention it again. 3.42 miles. 3.42, almost 3.5 miles in length. 20 corners. You hear my phone dinging. I told Emily I was live, and you see what happens when you tell them you're live. They're going to text you and ask you what you're live with. But we tried to prevent that. But 20 corners tonight, Tom. COTA.
Yeah.
What the heck, man?
I mean, COTA is one of those tracks, especially, it's hard in a stock car period, but when it comes to the next gen cars, we have talked about countless times with the next gen car, braking and turning and, getting on the power, all things you would think, that these next gen cars were supposed to be good at. They kind of, let's face it, they're not that good, at least in the sim side, right?
Right.
They might be better. In real life, we don't know. Obviously, we don't drive those cars, but as far as the sim side goes, they're a handful. So, I mean, you got a lot of extremely tight corners, a lot of very hard braking zones. You got those S's where you got to, shift the weight back and forth. These cars don't like changing directions quickly. They don't like stopping. So it's going to be, who can keep the car clean, not get any off tracks. The off track zones here are, to me, just kind of ridiculous. You get one tire off too much, you get incident point. So, I mean, it's, it's going to be tough for sure tonight.
Right on. Folks, I do apologize if Tom is freezing up on y'all's end as well. He is probably, I think the internet's been a little bad in that area, hasn't it, Tom?
It has been,
last
yeah.
little bit. He looks pristine. Looks like old Tom is old toilet bowl Tom now, but he was choppy a little bit. Folks, for the first time ever, I want to show y'all something that I have found on the internet that can really highlight what COTA is. And the guys actually hadn't even saw this yet, so I'm excited for them to see. But I want to preface that by saying 133 feet of elevation change in tonight's track. That may not sound like a lot, but I'm going to show y'all something right here. Feast your eyes on COTA. That looks like a roller coaster. That looks like what you would see at Six Flags. I wish I could see.
That's a fun ride.
I mean, you climb the very first hill, the big hill, you go up, then you're going to make a hard left-hand turn. That's a very, very, very tough corner right there. I'm thinking now, when I see that, I'm thinking restarts, initial start. How crazy is that turn one going to be right there?
Climbing that hill. I mean, really crazy, because you think about it, as soon as you pass the start-finish line, the track widens out, right?
Right.
You could go in there 6, 7 wide. Obviously, you're not going to make it through the corner, right? But there's opportunity for it. So I'm going to see a lot of dive bombs and probably a lot of failed dive bombs going to turn one tonight.
Right. And as we pull up the elevation change, Tom, I don't know if you can see this or not, kind of talk them through a lap. Now, I do have this other graphic we can pull up over it. So you see right there, turn one, then it goes into the little elbow type turn two. But then you heard Tom mention shifting weight at the S's. Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, turn 3, 4, 5, and then maybe 6?
Yep. So, so basically, I mean, if we want to say a quick lap around COTA, so you're going to come down your long front straightaway there. You're going to be hard on the brakes there into turn one, getting the car down to the first gear without, any rear tire hop. That's going to be key to get that car stopped. You're going to cut it in there as tight as you can. You're going to be hard on the power. You're going to be wheeling it through turn two. As I mean, the car's going to be loose. You're going to be on the power, going through the gears. You're going to come into 3, 4, 5 there. You're going to be starting third gear when you hit turn 3. You're going to go down to second there in a 4 and 5. Turn 6, you're going to be back up into third gear on the power. Car's going to be really, really loose. Turn 7 is tricky because basically turn 6 is almost two turns, but it's only one turn on the graph. So it's going to be turn 6 is going to start off wide and going to get narrow. So it's going to start as a third gear. It's going to go down into a second gear corner. And then as you go back down there in turn 8 and 9, 8's not too bad. 8's a nice second gear corner. You're going to carry a lot of speed though through 8 into 9. 9's third gear. As you go into 9, the car's going to be sideways.
And back up the hill.
And you're going back up that hill.
I brought this picture back up so you can see you're actually, you come out of 9, you're going right back up a hill. Not nearly as much of an elevation change as the front stretch one, but still, the car gets really upset when you come over the crest of a hill every time.
Yes. Yep.
And then keep going time at turn 10. Then...
Yep, turn 10's going to, essentially it's wide open. Car's going to be loose right there. That's where you're going to start going back downhill. Turn 11, you got to get the car stopped. Another first gear tight corner, and then
man, oh man, I'm gonna take over right here.
The pedal.
Yep.
From turn 11 to turn 12, the fastest portion of the track, Tom. I'm gonna quit whenever I get down here to 12 because I want you to talk about the braking points. But from turn 10 to turn 11, all the way up to 12, that's your biggest opportunity to pass in my mind. Because of the way the draft works in these cars. I would think we're hitting speeds 160, 170, maybe.
165-ish or so, yeah.
Okay, I was going to get about 160, 165 from turn 11 to turn 12. And then, Tom, take it from there. Turn 12, what are we doing?
Turn 12, we are hard on the brakes as possibly as hard as we can be without locking the tires, not spinning the car out, for one. You run a lot of rear brake in these cars to help slow them down, and they don't like staying straight. So you're going down through all the gears from 5th gear all the way down to 1st gear. You can be back hard on the power of those. You go into 13. 13 is deceiving.
I was gonna say it looks it drives like it's wider than that, but you look at it on this map right here. That's a pretty tight corner right there. That's a pretty deceiving corner.
Yes, 13's pretty tight. It's kind of a little off camber as well.
Yes.
So the car's very just
upset.
Very upset. Yeah, very upset. It's another
off camber, Tom. What are you talking
about?
You're
right. You're right. You're right. That's a 1st to 2nd gear corner, depending on gearing and depending on setup there. 14 going there into 15 is, I mean, it's tricky. I mean, you get up to 3rd gears, you go down there into 15 and 16. 1st gear there for 16. Careful getting on the throttle there as well. And then you have the 17 and 18 there. Is it 17, 18, 19?
Yeah. I call it
17, 18, just a big long carousel.
18.
Yes, like it's like I call it almost a horseshoe, like, because it is. It looks just like a horseshoe to me.
Yep, and that's another corner that, when I look at it, I think of the carousel of Watkins Glen, right? Same kind of setup, right?
Right.
But Watkins Glen, once you start getting to that carousel, you can hammer on the throttle. Just let it eat,
you can start picking it up.
But here, you let it eat, you're gonna spin. You're gonna spin out.
Right.
So there's so much throttle control and management here compared to like your Watkins Glen, your Sears Point or Sonoma Raceway now, some of the other road courses we run, and it's just totally different.
For our real life NASCAR fans, last season the Ross Chastain, Alex Bowman, Allmendinger, that was between 18 and 19, correct? Where we're at on the map.
Correct.
Yes, you are correct.
So for the ones that need your bearings, folks at home, if you're trying to kind of envision where we're at on track here from 17, 18 to 19, that is where those three were doing battle pretty good. And then turn 20, it's just another tight corner that you kind of float out to the wall and exit, and you got that long straightaway back up the hill. So I thought that was a pretty cool graphic right there. Kind of shows you
That's awesome.
It's legit like a roller coaster. It's like you better hang on, because if not, COTA will chew you up and it will spit you out. I mean,
I can't wait to try COTA tonight. The new,
What I've noticed on the elevation changes is a lot of the elevation changes are coming as you're coming out of the churns.
Right.
So when you're trying to throttle up, it's giving you more than you think you're giving it. So that's when you get loose.
Right.
And that's where, like, coming out of churn 1 up there at the top side, everybody can make it into the churn through. But once they try to give that throttle with your other map, everybody right there gets loose.
Right.
So you're braking hard coming in, and you're on a Yahoo. I mean, you're on your roller coaster ride right there, baby.
Hands up, just holding on, just waiting, waiting.
Exactly. Yeah. Jesus, take the wheel.
Kale, you do the points each and every week for us. We do want to thank you for that. Kale Butler, he's an unsung hero of the front row crew. Give himself a round of applause. Kale, your road course ringers going into tonight. Give me a few names we got to watch for over on True Sim Productions whenever Sam is live.
Ringers.
I caught him off guard. Just waiting on the notes, folks.
From last night's race, I would say that Elliott Drummond.
Oh, Drummond.
He was pretty hot last night in the Truck Series. He was running some good laps. As well as Louis Luckshine.
Yeah.
Is real good.
Louis.
And then don't forget Garrett. He's pretty good on the road course.
No, don't tell him that. Don't tell him that.
Yeah. Well, we won't tell him, but he is pretty good on the road course.
I'm a little embarrassed. You never mentioned Tanner Marr right then?
Tanner? I don't know, Tanner.
Oh, I'll be lucky if I make it the first 8 laps of stage 1. That's a win in my book. I'm parking that thing in victory lane on lap 9, and I'm calling it a night.
Yeah, well, I mean, some people think, we're looking at 2 stages. We're 3 stages. Stage 1 ends at lap 8, but some people think that's a short, only 8 laps in the first stage. But if you think about it, that's 20 minutes. With
Right.
the lap times that we're running, that's going to take 20 minutes to run 8 laps.
I heard deep breaths last night at the end of that 8 laps that we had in the trucks. I heard some people like they were sweating.
8 laps. It's what about Tom? You said between 2 minutes and 12 seconds per like a good lap. So
2:12 to 2:17 is basically what most of the guys are running in the Cup Series. I did an A Open earlier in the week, and it was 20 laps, 21 laps.
Yeah.
After 20 laps, I thought I just ran like the Indy 500 or something like that. Like
Just
that's how I
tired?
felt. So
It's a lot of work.
worn
A lot of
out.
work.
It's
Yeah, you're sweating. You're sweating in your seat.
Sam, let's throw it over to you real quick. Sam, what time are we going live for tonight's shindig? COTA.
True Sim Productions should be live if I'm remembering their practice times correctly, around 8:45.
Yep.
Okay. Folks, I love setting these guys, teeing them up for questions like that because the peek behind the curtain, we have a little spreadsheet, not really a spreadsheet, just kind of a few notes we got before we go into a pre-race show like this, and I love hitting him and Kale with some like off-ball questions that are not on the script, like asking Kale who the ringers were, kind of just put them on their spot, keep them on their toes. Going into tonight, our top 5 in points as it stands, Chris Carroll with 217 points, got a very sizable, comfortable lead over our second place driver, Raymond Herdina, with 154 points. But look at there, Tom. The battle gets hot and heavy from second place on down. Only 1 point separates second and third. Third place being Adam Thompson. Brian Zimmerman with 142 points. But I do know he's an Alabama fan. And for our March Madness basketball fans, if your team's still in it, good luck. Alabama is tipping off actually about right now. They should be tipping off any minute. So I know Zimmerman will not be there tonight. And then we have Tyler Clements, 125 points, sitting P5. So those guys have put on a really impressive season. You know, one guy's name that's not on that list that I'm very, very shocked about? Stephen T. Johnson. Is he laying in the weeds, just waiting, kind of like a snake, just waiting?
He's been doing.
Hasn't he?
He's missed a few races. He's actually in the process of getting his commercials pilot license.
Yep.
So he's been doing a lot of flying instead of sim racing. So we're cutting us some slack.
I got
Plus the baby. Plus he's got the
Right.
Plus the babies. I mean, yeah.
Right.
He's producing.
That's one way to look at it. Yeah.
Put something out there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a pit party, baby. We got to cover all the topics. Before we close up shop here tonight, I do want to ask. We'll go to Mark Miller first. We'll get old Chummy up on picture. Shout out Chummy Motorsports too for being a loyal sponsor, not only the front row but Cricket Line Racing. Chummy, thank you for that. And
You're welcome.
I want to ask you first, how has the season went for the number 6 of Chummy Miller?
You know, we've had a whole lot more competition out there this year than we normally have.
Absolutely.
The talent of drivers has really went up. The patience has really went down because of the talent that we have out there. I think if we start getting the motivation of people sitting there not thinking of a first place every night, I think things can really change up. I mean, because here we got Tyler sitting in 5th place, the unsung kind of guy that's out there. He's like the pro guy that used to play football and you never know what you're going to get from night to night. But at the end of the race, he's there.
Right.
And those are the type of guys that we're full of in this whole league this year. We have some really competitive guys that this could make for a really entertaining quarter. Once the quarter is up and we're getting into the next half of the year, it could really open up.
Right, absolutely.
The talent is just unleashable.
I completely agree. Kel, we won't talk to you, Kel. You've been doing a lot of race admin stuff. Oh, Lindstrom, you've been fairly quiet. We've been bouncing around everybody else. We're going to come to you, the the old Red Mamba. We're gonna name Lindstrom. How's the season went so far for the 83?
Yeah, 83.
Yeah. How's it been so far?
Yeah, our season's been we've been right there, top 5, top 10 every race. Unfortunately, we've been getting caught up in some late race accidents, last lap stuff. So,
Yep.
been kind of tough. The first 4 races, I think we were caught up in late race incidents. Last week was the first week where we didn't get caught up in one, and we got ourselves a top 10. So, I think we're sitting 7th to 10th in points right now, somewhere right in there.
Actually, you're sitting 6th in points right now.
Yeah, so I guess we're just outside the top 5 in points, and I think as long as we don't get caught up in those late race incidents and taken out, I think there's definitely a couple spots we could take up there.
Right on. Before we get to Tom, I'll talk about my season a little bit. I think I'm coming in tonight 18th. I did miss a race because of the power, my power being out. Phoenix, I felt like I had a top 3 car, top 4 car all night. Got up there, led some laps, led a few laps, and ultimately made a two tire stop on the end, and it came back and bit me. Yeah, I mean, I went from salvaging a good top 5, top 10 run to finishing, I think, 19th, 20th because I was involved in a wreck. So that's been my nemesis all season long. I can run pretty good, and then when it comes down to cash and checks, we'll call it, at the end of the race, I can never. My checks always bounce. It's just the way it's flowing for me right now. Toilet Bowl, before we wrap it up, give us a rundown for the number 32 car as we're waiting for your camera to come up. Folks, it may be my internet messing up because Tom.
It may be yours.
Tom.
No, that's just Discord. That Discord does that all the time.
Yeah,
man.
most likely Discord.
Tom, you are sitting 27th in the points right now.
Yeah, it's been
woohoo!
It's been a really rough season. I've also, I had I think 1 or 2 races that I got dropped from because I had some internet issues and some other stuff going on. So hopefully, not that COTA is going to be the place that I'm going to be able to turn it around, but I mean, maybe. I mean, the thing with COTA, if I just keep it clean, keep it on track, I'm actually turning laps as we speak. It might be okay. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we can turn it around. Still early in the season. Got some really good tracks coming up for us. We got Texas and Bristol coming up, Bristol Dirt. Great on dirt and love Texas. So hopefully we can turn the season around here shortly.
Maybe. You can catch us live every Friday night here on True Sim Productions Facebook for the Front Row Pit Party. And then, of course, Mr. Samuel Baumgartner will be up in True Sim Productions booth calling all the action live over on our YouTube channel. Check us out here tonight. Check out all the action at COTA. It's going to be something. I mean, what it's going to be, I don't know. I think a track like COTA.
It's going to be a wild ride.
Right. Somebody like me who I'm coming in not comfortable at all. If I can just salvage a top 10 just by staying on the track, my pace might be slower than everybody else's, but if I can take that pace and stay actually on the track, I think you can finish a top 10. You just got to, if you have the car there at the end, you have a chance at a top 10. So that's my outlook going into tonight. Sam, hit us one more time with what time you think you will be live tonight so our fans can come on in there and root for their favorite driver, and then we'll close up shop.
8:45, 8:50 p.m. Eastern time.
There you go, folks. 8:50 Eastern, 7:50 Central, over on True Sim Productions, over on YouTube.com. Thank y'all for tuning in. Kel Butler, thank you for coming and hanging out with us. Carl Lindstrom,
You betcha.
Thank you. Chummy Motorsports, thank you. Mr. Baumgartner, thank you. And old Toilet Bowl Tom, as always, thank you. Folks, it's been myself, Tanner Marr, with the gang here for Front Row Pit Party. Until next Friday night, we'll